So how much time do you spend daily just working on your email? Hi, if you don't know me already, my name is Randy Dean. People call me the email sanity expert. I've been helping literally tens of thousands of working professionals all over the world get their email under control for the last 20 plus years. And I'm hoping I'm about to make a big improvement in your work and your life starting right now. So I started this business in the early 2000s after spending more than a decade studying time and productivity management strategies from some of the leading experts and thought leaders in the field at the time. I became known in my previous jobs as the on-site time and tech guy. And in the late 90s, I started developing immediately usable strategies for my coworkers on how to better use one of the earliest versions of Microsoft Outlook. And my coworkers in 3 different organizations encouraged me to seriously consider starting a company teaching these strategies. Let's flash forward. In 2005, about a year into that business, I was teaching a time management for Outlook users workshop and noticed something when I got into the little segment on better email management in Outlook. People perked up, but not in a good way. You could see the stress, aggravation, and even a bit of anger in their faces. Email! Email! I sensed an opportunity. People were clamoring for ways to get their email under control and get back to being productive. Email was their nemesis. I created a standalone course on this topic for Microsoft Outlook users called Taming the Email Beast, which quickly became my most popular program, which then became a book that went on to become an Amazon bestseller in 6 categories. This focus on better email management and efficiency has allowed me to not have to get a real job now for more than 20 years. I've been going all over the world teaching people to get their email under control and be less distracted by it all of this time. And I've noticed a few different things. Here's the problem. Professional workers in a traditional office or hybrid environment often spend 2 to 4 hours or more daily just dealing with their emails. Some receive 50, 100, 200 or more email messages daily. And many are checking their email inbox multiple times per hour, some every few minutes. But here was the one big kicker. Almost no one had training. No one had training either on traditional information and input management techniques and strategies, or specifically on the software they used for hours every day on their email and calendar. Many working professionals were and are spending 25 to 50% or more of their workday just dealing with email, often checking their inboxes 15 to 40 times daily, being regularly overwhelmed, stressed, and highly distracted, with almost none of them having training on how to actually use their software intelligently and strategically. And because they are self-taught and they don't have the time to learn a better way, they are typically looking at each and every email 3 to 7 times before taking a smart and appropriate action with that email. They are literally looking at their messages over and over again, often doing nothing with them, wasting time and effort every time they do. They are losing hours of time and productivity per week, which means days per month, which means weeks per year. And it really doesn't have to be this way. However, if you are watching this video for yourself right now, I'm happy for you, because I'm certain you will find numerous tips and techniques to save time, be more organized and productive, and be significantly less distracted with all things email. I consider email a necessary nuisance. You can't get rid of it. You need it for your job, but it often distracts and gets in the way of true productivity and leaves you little to no time for your most important work. Thus, every minute you can save on this necessary but often distracting communications tool, that is a minute you can use for a more important project, task, or action. It could literally be the difference between being a mediocre performer and a rock star. But if you are a manager or a leader, you should be even more happy that you are watching this video. Because if your firm hasn't yet trained your team on how to better manage this necessary nuisance, email, you have right now stumbled upon one of the easiest ways to greatly increase your team's productivity while reducing their stress, overwhelm, and distraction. The ROI on getting your employees even just 10 to 20% more efficient and effective with their email and skills is ridiculous. There is a lot of hype over the potential productivity gains from AI right now. But I have to tell you, I think there are similar gains to be had in simply getting your people far more skilled using an essential software and critical communications tool they often use for hours every day. So let's get you working better with your email, which should help you also get more time to be more focused, more creative, and create more time for your most important work, projects, and tasks.
All right. Hi, everyone. Just going to say something right here, real quick. When you see the headset on, that means that the program content is about to change in this video series, and I am about to get both tactical and technical. So, as you're watching this video, and if you're going to be watching the other videos in the series, just realize that when you see this, it means I'm about to dive into some of the things that I think are going to make you significantly more effective and efficient when it comes to utilizing your Microsoft tools. Now, I had mentioned previously that, I have been teaching a course called Taming the Email Beast for basically 20 years now. And one of the interesting things about this, I made the little joke that I haven't had to get a real job in that time. I call this right here my taming email decision tree. And when you say that, I mean it's sort of built on the back of, some other thought leaders in the field that really helped me refine my thinking about what you do with an email. I'm specifically going to call out David Allen, but I think also people like Malcolm Gladwell's work and Stephen Covey's work really made me focus in and think about, what is it that you're doing when an email comes in and you're expected to basically handle it. And one of the interesting things is, I mentioned in the program that because so many people are self-taught, that they're looking at their emails 3 to 7 times before they actually take a smart and appropriate action. That's the low-hanging fruit that I really want to dive into here as we begin the more technical part of this program. But before we do, time out. I actually got to go into Outlook for a second and show you a couple essential and necessary screen setup tips so that when we get into some of the more important tips that are coming very shortly, you'll be ready for them. Okay, so let's dive out right now out of my little slide right here. By the way, this is how I got away with not having a real job for 20 years. Come up with a slide like that, start showing it to people. But let's go back into, first we'll go into Classic Outlook.